All right, yo, what's up, everyone? Sorry, I couldn't get my camera working today. It was just being all funky and weird. My setup's just all funky and weird. Anyways, I was trying to get my camera working for like the past 15 minutes, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna stream without the camera, and the next time I'll get it figured out, because I don't know why it's being like this. I don't know why. I don't know why my stream hates me, bro. I'm not sure. I really don't. Let me 15 minutes, and I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna stream without the camera, and the next time I'll get it figured out. Alright, cool. Audio looks good. Everything looks good on my end. Let me just pop open browser. Now listen, if you haven't seen my video, I built a few matchups that I'm going to go through real quick on the stream. But I do want to look at the UFC rankings, like specifically lower in the rankings, just to see if there's any, like, I don't know, just to see if there's any, like, you know, matchups that might be dark horse matchups, kind of like the Anthony Hernandez and Roman Kopylov fight. Like, you guys remember that fight, right? Yeah, something like that. Something like that would be pretty sick because, you know, dark horse matchups, I'm all for them. I mean, there's plenty out there, and there's a bunch of guys that are unranked too that are going to be cracking through the leaderboards here pretty soon. You know what I mean? So it'll be cool to see a few prospects too. Like, I will say, sometimes you look at Dana White Contender Series guys and you're just like, well, dang, man, like, why am I watching him? But dude, I will say sometimes you'll find some guys that are, you know, very, very good, bro. And they're fun fighters to watch, especially early on in their career. Guys like Peyton Talbot, for example, you know what I mean? He puts on banger fights all the time. You know, everyone says, oh, well, he got fraud checked last weekend. He got fraud checked last weekend. Yeah, he kind of did, but he's still young, bro. The beautiful thing about it is I'd rather see Peyton Talbot lose now and then work his way up and be such a better fighter. I think this loss is going to exponentially help Peyton Talbot, but that's a whole nother rant and a whole nother story for another day. But listen, I need to see it. I need to see Tom Aspinall versus John Jones. And John is dropping some news later tonight or tomorrow morning. I'm not sure what time, but he's dropping some news, and he said the champ is back. So it should be a fight, and it should, if it's anyone but Tom Aspinall, I'll find a way to personally talk to Dana White and the matchmakers and just slap a little silliness into them. Because what in the world? Slap a little sense, not silliness. Sorry, they have plenty of silliness. But anyways, yes, Tom Aspinall versus John Jones. I need to see it. Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. You are crazy if you don't think this is a fight that we need to see. Okay, you are crazy if you do not think this is a fight that we need to see ASAP. I am praying that du Plessis wins that belt solely for the fact that Khamzat Chimaev is facing the winner. God, I would love for Strickland to win. I was all over Strickland earlier in the week. I switched my pick because I do want DDP to win because of Khamzat. I don't know. It's just not as fun of a fight if it's Strickland versus Khamzat. Dricus just has the plot armor, bro. He just has the Toon Force. And the guy is just so unorthodox. He's so strong. Like, part of me wants to believe that Khamzat cannot just come in here and do what he's been doing to everyone else, just throwing guys around. But Khamzat has also gotten way better too, so we got to keep that into account. And man, this is going to be a matchup for the ages, bro. If we get this fight, which I am praying that we do, if we get this fight, this will be a matchup for the ages. Islam Makhachev versus Arman Sarukian. Listen, a lot of you may sit here, you may think, oh, Arman doesn't deserve it. Arman doesn't this, Arman doesn't that. look, he may not deserve it, but that doesn't mean it's not a matchup that we don't want to see. How hype was this fight before Armin pulled out? Everyone was thinking, wow, Islam is the champ, but Armin Tsarukyan is like the perfect style to combat Islam Makhachev. Like, this was the perfect challenger for Islam Makhachev, and unfortunately, it fell through. Armin Tsarukyan had some sort of injury. He pulled out. He couldn't cut the weight anymore. And you just sit there and you oh, man, I feel for this, not only as a fan, but I feel for Armin as like a man, because an opportunity to like that, just to, like, it must have been a tough decision for him to just be like, yeah, I'm not sure if I want to fight anymore for the championship belt. Like, I just can't, you know what I mean? And, you know, a lot of people make fun of him for it. Yeah, it sucks. In the moment, you know, everyone was kind of mad at him, but dude, it's a championship fight against Islam Makhachev. Like, I don't know. I guess then again, a loss would have been a little bit better. You know, at least you went in there and tried to prove yourself. But if he would have lost really quickly, that would, like, the argument of him getting a rematch would have just gotten thrown right out the window. Because Islam's already beat him once, so it would have been 2-0, you know, Islam. So I see where Armin was coming from. I mean, he wasn't 100% healthy. And let's be honest, Armin Tsarukyan not being 100% healthy, just that the fight would not have been what it was. Like, it probably would have been closer to a Renato Moicano outcome rather than like an actual back and forth for, you know, 4, maybe 5 rounds until Islam gets a finish, or maybe Armin Tsarukyan lasts all 5 rounds and it goes to decision, dominant, you know, by Islam. But I guess we'll never know. Who knows? I mean, who knows if Islam Makhachev is going to stick around in lightweight for long enough to rematch Armin Tsarukyan. I don't see it happening. Ilia Topuria versus Diego Lopes. Lopez. Guys, this fight I have to see. Okay, as much as I would love for Ilia to move up and to fight Islam Makhachev and, you know, have that banger super fight, dude, we cannot deny that Diego Lopes is a monster. We cannot deny that Diego Lopes has jiu-jitsu on the level, if not better, of Ilia Topuria. I know Ilia Topuria has very, very good jiu-jitsu, but so does Diego Lopes. Or Lopez. I think it's Lopes. But now I'm overthinking it and I can't remember. Anyways, I still think that, you know, Diego Lopes is a perfect challenger for Ilia. I mean, he's got a chin. He's got very good jiu-jitsu. He's lacking a little bit in the wrestling, but for what he lacks in the wrestling, he really does make up in the grappling department. You know, so Diego Lopes is shifty. He's nifty. He's very, very good. And I don't think he would present Ilia with like a crazy amount of trouble, but I do think it'd be a very fun matchup to watch. You know, Ilia Topuria getting another defense against a featherweight before he moves up and, you know, ultimately try out of there. I'd wait until Islam jumps up. Why not stay undefeated? Why not risk a fight like that with Islam Makhachev being where he is, bro? Like, it's just one of those things where he could take a smarter approach, and, you know, I think the UFC is going to take that approach too. I don't see the UFC just throwing Islam and Ilia into there when they could create like 2 super fights with their names instead of just the one. You know, it's just too early. Maybe if these guys swept through their divisions, cleaned out every single challenger, you know, had 4 or 5 wins over, or not 4 or 5, 4 or 5 wins over some of the top like 5 or 6 in the division, that'd be a different story. But yeah, Ilia Topuria is nasty. Yes, Islam Makhachev is nasty as well, but there's matchups for him to watch, you know, to eventually go through. Charles Oliveira at lightweight, you know, potentially Justin Gaethje. If Dan Hooker maybe wins, I don't know if he would get a title shot against Islam. I mean, Dan Hooker's already been submitted by Islam Makhachev, so that's a little bit of a different story. But Justin Gaethje, if he beats Dan Hooker, especially convincingly, Justin Gaethje could go for that matchup. But Ilia Topuria, man, he needs to fight Diego Lopes. He needs to go through and show people that he is the featherweight GOAT. He is Not necessarily the featherweight GOAT, but, with a few more defenses, Movsar Evloev, Diego Lopes, another defense over Alexander Volkanovski, you can't deny that this guy is one of the greatest featherweights to ever do it. And with newer generations, these guys just keep getting better and better. So these wins, I mean, these are equivalent to like a few wins back in the day. You know what I mean? So it's Ilya Topuria is the new generation, and it's crazy how dominant. It is crazy how dominant he has been. Sugar Show versus Corey Sandhagen. Dude, this would be an absolutely epic matchup. You cannot sit here and deny that Sean O'Malley and Corey Sandhagen would not be an absolute striker's delight. This is a fight that I need to see. Corey Sandhagen coming off a loss to Umar. Sean O'Malley coming off a loss to the champion. This would be a beautiful title eliminator, bro. This would be a beautiful matchup in general. The styles here just clash so well together. Sean O'Malley's counter-striking. Corey Sandhagen, I mean, he's the kind of guy to figure out that Sean O'Malley counter-striking and outstrike Sean O'Malley. I really do favor Corey Sandhagen slightly. But I really do favor Corey Sandhagen in this matchup, man. I don't know, though. Like I said, it's a 50-50. And Sean O'Malley, he could come in here, he could snipe Corey Sandhagen. But nonetheless, this is a banger fight, and I would love to see this matchup happen. Nasruddin Imavov versus Kyle Barallo. This is also another absolute fire matchup that's waiting to be made. Imavov, yes, he did just knock out Israel Adesanya, but is he going to sit out until Strickland du Plessis and Hamzat? Hamzat is definitely getting the title shot next. Like, there is no question. Unless he can't fight, unless he can't, make his way into the U.S. for some reason, or whatever the case may be with Hamzat. If he can't fight, then Imavov would definitely get the title shot. But why not? Why not a Imavov versus a Barallo fight? This would be fireworks. Okay, this would be absolute fireworks. High level, very good striking match. And I could see Barallo kind of leaning in on his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu in this fight, because Imavov is nasty and he is fast, bro. Next fight, we got Bo Nickel versus Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa would be an absolute epic matchup for Bo Nickel. This would be an absolute fun matchup. I don't think it would be anything like Bo Nickel's last fight, where, he was hesitant to go to the ground with Paul Craig, and he didn't really outstrike him. He just kind of did enough to win the fight. I don't think that would be the case here. Paulo Costa doesn't present as much danger on the ground. He's a very good wrestler. He's a very good counter wrestler, which would make this fight very interesting. A lot of fun scrambles, I think, could happen. And Paulo Costa, I mean, he's definitely got the striking advantage, but I don't know. It just part of me thinks that Bo Nickel would go in there. He would be the better wrestler. Paulo Costa would give him, some fun exchanges on the ground, be a little bit better on the feet, but I don't think this fight would last too long on the feet. I think there would be a lot of scrambling. I think there'd be a lot of Bo Nickel trying to wrestle Paulo Costa, and Costa, eventually gassing. Maybe if it's a 5-round, fight night main event or something like that, I could see Bo Nickel getting a finish later, but I don't think they'll put him in a 5-rounder just yet. I think they're going to give him another few 3-rounder fights and then maybe put him in a main event like fight night, or keep putting him on pay-per-views, throw him in as a co-main event. I don't know. We'll see. Bo Nickel's definitely getting pushed, but, he's a good fighter, man. I don't mind it. We'll see. I think he's going to improve drastically. He's super young. Wait until he hits 30, 31, 32, 33 years old. I mean, this guy is going to be an absolute unit, I have a feeling. And he's climbing the leaderboards or the rankings fast, so. But yeah, Paulo Costa and Bo Nickel would be an absolute banger. Yair Rodriguez versus Arnold Allen. This would also be a striker's delight. These guys are some of the most creative strikers in the UFC. I mean, the the upward elbow by Yair Rodriguez to knock out the Korean Zombie was one of the most epic things I have ever seen. One of the most epic finishes ever. I mean, it's up there, you know. And Arnold Allen is a monster. Arnold Allen deserves one of those top 5 spots. And Arnold Allen, I think, could make this an absolute banger fight, bro. He loves to get down and dirty. He loves to keep it standing too. And I think Yair Rodriguez would be a perfect dance partner. Book this fight, dude. Please. This fight is so doable. This fight is so bookable. It'd be crazy if they didn't book this fight next. Seriously, it would be mental if they did not book this fight next. Unless they're trying to push some more up-and-comers at featherweight. Maybe give Yair Rodriguez, you know, I don't even know. I mean, who could Yair Rodriguez fight? Maybe a Lerone Murphy? I don't know. Maybe Aljamain Sterling? I don't know. I don't think like Bryce Mitchell is going to get a shot. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do with these guys, but Yair Rodriguez versus Arnold Allen, it'd be an absolute epic fight. And I think we'd see a lot of creative striking in this one. I really do. I think this would be a very fun, creative striking match. Speaking of strikers, MVP Venom versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. This would also be an epic fight. This would also be very, very epic in terms of striking. I mean, we would see some very high-level striking. We would absolutely see these two guys going at it. Look, probably more than likely not a knockout, but I could see some crazy kicks in this fight. I could see some crazy elbows, some very good combos. Wonderboy Thompson and MVP, both phenomenal kickboxers. I think they would make this not necessarily a dogfight, but a super technical, super back and forth, super even striking match. I do favor MVP just a little bit. He's coming in with a little more momentum, and I do think momentum is real in the UFC, but nonetheless, absolute banger. Please book it, and it's perfect. It's perfect. MVP's coming off a win. He just cracked, into the rankings. Wonderboy Thompson coming off a rough loss. And I don't think MVP is going to have that crazy enough power where he's going to just put Stephen Thompson out. I think this would be a very conservative fight for Wonderboy to take at this point in his career. So, yeah, we need this booked ASAP. Alejandro Pantoja versus Merab or even Davison Figueiredo. Figgy, bro. I would not mind if Pantoja jumped up, took on Figgy, got a little accustomed to the weight class, and then fought Merab a few months later. Listen, Pantoja has wiped through the division, and I mean, you could sit here, you could say, we could get Tatsuro Taira a fight, bro. Tatsuro Taira is coming off a loss. Royval, Moreno, Albazi's not getting the shot. Yeah, Kai Kara France, that would be an epic fight. But what happens when Pantoja beats Kai Kara France? What happens then? What are we going to give? A Sual Mabayev a shot? Tagir Ulanbekov, in my opinion, needs to fight another at least top 10. Maybe give to Tagir Ulanbekov like a Tatsuro Taira, maybe Amir Albazi, one of those two fights. And if Tagir can win that, definitely Pantoja versus Tagir Ulanbekov. Absolutely. But I think it's too early for Tagir to get the shot quite yet. Then again, we have seen some crazier stuff, but I don't know. If it comes to that, I'd rather see like Charles Johnson, as crazy as it sounds. I'd rather see, I think his nickname's what? Energy? Let me double check. Yeah, bro. I'd rather see like Charles Johnson fight for a championship, which, I mean, Charles Johnson, dude, he's secretly stacking up the wins, man. He's secretly stacking up the wins. He's on a 3-fight win streak. Took some losses back in 2023, but if he can win his next fight, If he can win his next fight, man, that'd be epic. That would be epic. That'd be 4 wins for Charles Energy Johnson. I think all he'd need, all he would really need was maybe like one more win, and he's up there. I mean, he's in title contention, so absolutely Charles Johnson. That'd be an epic fight. Maybe too big of a jump right now, but epic fight nonetheless. Yeah, I would love to see Pantoja jump up, challenge himself a little bit, take on a different weight class. And, if it doesn't work out, he just goes back to crushing all the flyweights again. So, yeah. Anyways, next fight, Brian T. City Ortega versus Aljo Sterling. This would be an epic fight too, an epic grappling match, back and forth, a lot of scrambling, a lot of high-level jiu-jitsu from both of these guys. I think, as much as I hate to say it, I think we would see a few stalemate positions, especially on the ground. But I don't know. Part of me just also wants to give this fight the benefit of the doubt and just say, like, oh my God, this would be an absolute grappler's delight. Brian Ortega, Aljamain Sterling, and it works out perfect. They're both coming off of losses. They're both pretty high up in the rankings. Aljo wins. He's able to prove that he can stand, and hang with some of the top 5, top 6 guys in the division. If Brian Ortega wins, he just proves that he still got it. You know what I mean? T-City still got it. I think this matchup would be absolutely epic. I don't think there would be too much of like that crazy stalemate. I think these guys are going to stay active. I think they're going to go for it. Yeah, Aljo's notorious for backpacking. Whatever. I don't care. He does that to people who aren't on the level of grappling he is. And Brian Ortega easily is on the level of Aljamain Sterling. If not a little bit better, because this is Brian Ortega. He is a featherweight. And Aljamain Sterling just recently moved up. So, epic fight nonetheless. And listen, Sergey Spivak versus Ghazi Goat Shamil Gaziev. Book this fight ASAP. Okay, Shamil Gaziev needs to prove that he can crack the top 5, and I do not want him jumping up too soon to a guy like Curtis Blades or Alexander Volkov. I want Shamil Ghazi Goat to make his way into the top 10, to creep up there, to get a win over Sergey Spivak, get some more experience, and then get a top 5 win. Give him a Cyril Gane, give him a Volkov, give him a Pavlovich, give him anyone in the top 5, okay? Once he gets that top 5 win, Ghazi Goat is walking his way to the UFC title. Ghazi Goat is walking his way to the UFC title, man, and I don't care who has it. I don't care if it's Tom Aspinall. I don't care if it's John Jones. I don't care if it's Jailton Almeida. I don't care if it's Tai Tuivasa. Shamil Ghazi Goat Gaziev is winning that belt before he retires. Yeah, you may be sitting here, you may be thinking, oh, well, he's 34 years old, bro. Are you crazy? Heavyweights age like fine wine, man. This dude is going to be 40 years old, still killing it in the top 5, if not champion. Defending title after title, okay? I believe it. I believe it. So listen, this would be an absolute banger in and of itself. Now, there is a few more fights that I kind of want to go over. More so like guys that are a little bit lower in the rankings. So I'm going to pop this up over here. Listen, dude, I need to see Paddy Pimblett take on Renato Moicano. I need to see Paddy Pimblett take on Renato Moicano. That would be an absolute epic fight. And I think Renato Moicano in the position that he's at currently, yes, he just lost to Islam Makhachev pretty badly too, but there is beef. There is beef in this fight, okay? Paddy Pimblett and Renato Moicano have been going back and forth. This fight would be absolutely epic. Please book this fight. I know a lot of people have been saying Arman Tsarukyan and Michael Chandler. Arman called out Michael Chandler. I wouldn't mind that fight. Me personally, I'd rather see the Islam Makhachev versus Arman Sarukian fight, but unfortunately we're not going to get that because Dana White is going to be very, stubborn about it. But, hear me out. What if we did Fiziev versus Jalen Turner? That would be an epic fight too, man. Perfect fight for Fiziev to come back to. Jalen Turner, Jalen Turner is going to match. Maybe he'll try and wrestle Fiziev, but Fiziev has very good takedown defense. I don't think Jalen Turner's just going to go in and take Fiziev down. I think this would be a very good matchup. Michael Morales versus Carlos Prates. I hate that I said this because I don't want either of these guys to lose. But bro, this would be an absolute epic matchup. Michael Morales, the knockout king, versus Carlos Prates, the real knockout king, bro. Prates is on like a 7 or 8 fight knockout streak. Meanwhile, Morales, aside from a few of his recent fights, he's been knocking dudes out left and right too. This would be absolute fireworks. Anthony Hernandez. I want to see Anthony Hernandez fight soon, and I would love to see him go up against Brendan Allen. Okay, Brendan Allen and Anthony Hernandez would be an absolutely epic fight. Two phenomenal grapplers. They're two absolute dogs as well. Brendan Allen, his cardio has been lacking a little bit here and there, but I think if he cleans that up, I think he could have a good chance of beating Anthony Hernandez. And Anthony Hernandez is the type of guy where he's going to set the pace on you, man. He is going to set the pace. He's going to try and, tear you down, get you going. And that would be, I don't know, like me personally, this grappling match, the grappling exchanges between these two guys would be epic. They would be absolutely epic. So Brendan Allen, Anthony Hernandez, firefight. I also think, I hate to say it because Khalil Roundtree definitely deserves to be fighting in the top 5, especially after, a decent showing against Alex Pereira. A lot better than a lot of people anticipated, that's for sure. But Dominic Reyes versus Khalil Roundtree, that would also be a very good fight. That could fight, that could be a fight night main event. It could be a main card on a pay-per-view, opening to a main card, maybe the second fight of a main card. Dominic Reyes versus Khalil Roundtree would be absolute fireworks, bro. Oh, I'm not even showing it over here. Yeah, Khalil Roundtree, he's ranked number 7, and Reyes is 11. You know what I mean? And Reyes is coming off a nice little hot streak right now. He's got a few wins underneath his belt, so why not? Why not? This would be an absolute epic fight. Heavyweight, there's not really any matchups that I'm sitting here like Shamil Gaziev. I like Acosta. I wouldn't mind him getting maybe, like a Taibura. I don't want him fighting Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis would probably rock Waldo, but maybe like a Taibura, maybe a Waldo Acosta versus a Taibura, but those aren't really matchups that I'm like sitting here, salivating at the mouth over. Guys like a Tatsuro Taira, I really want to see him fight soon, and I would love to see him fight against Steve Erceg. That would be an epic fight. Two very phenomenal grapplers. Steve Erceg has some power. Tatsuro Taira has phenomenal kickboxing. I would love to see this fight. Sual Mabayev, I was thinking about that earlier, maybe him against Taira, but I don't know. Me personally, I would just love to see Steve Erceg fight Tatsuro Taira. I think, they're both phenomenal grapplers. Erceg may have the slight power advantage, but it's not like Erceg is cracking guys left and right too. Yeah, he knocked out Matt Schnell, but I don't know. That would be an epic fight. Figgy versus Pantoja, allow Figgy, the former flyweight, to welcome Pantoja to bantamweight. I want to see Song Yadong fight up, but I don't really know. Like, I want to see Corey Sandhagen take on Sean O'Malley, Piotr Jan. I'd love to see him get a title fight. Umar is probably going to get a rematch with Merab. If we're being honest, if we're being purely honest with my feelings. Maybe Song Yadong versus Mario Bautista. Maybe give Song Yadong an easy matchup. I don't think Mario Bautista is going to just cage clinch and hold Yadong up on against the fence, for that long. So I think Song Yadong gives the fans some payback against Bautista for freaking hugging Aldo up against the fence, dude. That's all he did. That's all he did. But hey, I mean, it's a strategy, and if it works and your opponent isn't doing anything about it, I guess why fix it, right? Why be that guy to fix it? Why be that guy to just care and go above and beyond for your opponent? Lerone Murphy, I want to see him fight. I mean, Arnold Allen versus Lerone Murphy would be a pretty good fight, but I want to see Arnold Allen fight Yair Rodriguez. Like I mentioned earlier, I think that'd be a really cool striking matchup. I know Lerone Murphy called out Josh Emmett, but God, dude, I hope that doesn't happen. Josh Emmett could put Murphy's lights out, bro. Murphy's got a chin, but Josh Emmett is just ridiculously powerful, especially for a featherweight. Dan Ige, I'm excited to see who he fights next. Maybe he fights a Giga. Or does Giga already have a fight scheduled? Does Giga have a fight scheduled? I could have swore I seen something about that the other day, that Giga had a fight scheduled. Maybe I'm not remembering correctly, but I swear Giga had a fight scheduled. Let me see here real quick. Giga Chikadze. Yeah, no. Giga's last fight was against Arnold Allen, and Arnold Allen beat him. So Giga coming off a loss, he doesn't have a fight scheduled. Giga versus Lerone Murphy would be epic. That would be an awesome fight. Yeah, dude, book that, man. Book that. I need Carlos Olberg. I need him to fight against maybe Jamal Hill. Ooh, Carlos Olberg versus Jamal Hill. Am I cooking or what, bro? Carlos Olberg versus Jamal Hill would be an epic fight too. I don't know. It's crazy. I look at the UFC and I just think to myself, like, wow, every year gets better. How can they top next year? And then they find a way to top next year. And then it's like, or the last year. And then it's like, well, how do they top this year now? And they just find a way to top it. Like sometimes I doubt the UFC, other times I don't, but they always find a way. They always find a way to make something happen. And, while I scrolled down into the women's section, show off my pick here. I want Kayla Harrison to fight for that belt. I don't care who has that belt when Kayla Harrison fights for it. I want Kayla Harrison to come in here and make that division great again, bro. Make that division absolutely great again. Shevchenko versus Wei Li would be an absolute fire matchup. Pound for pound, number 1 versus number 2. I know Wei Li is, she's about to fight and hopefully win, but I know a lot of people are high on Tatiana Suarez. She's a very good grappler. I'm just a Wei Li fan, bro. I'm just a Wei Li wannabe friend. You know what I mean? Wei Li is awesome. Her vibe is just contagious. Her personality is contagious. She's just got a good vibe. She's got a good energy, bro. So I would love to see Wei Li win this and then, be able to take on Valentina Shevchenko for that number 1 pound for pound spot. This is like the equivalent of Islam Makhachev and Alexander Volkanovski literally fighting for that number 1 pound for pound spot. Like, this would be an absolutely epic fight. Dude, you could put that, you could low-key put that as a main event to a pay-per-view, and I'm sure a bunch of people wouldn't complain as long as your co-main event was kind of fire. You know what I mean? But I don't really see how you could put, like, I don't know. Let me not get ahead of myself. Let me not give him too much credit here. But no, epic fight nonetheless. Man, I want to see Robert Whittaker bounce back, but I really don't know, like, who he's going to fight. Maybe Marvin Vittori. Maybe maybe Robert Whittaker just gets Marvin Vettori. Who would Robert Whittaker fight next? It's interesting because I really like, I don't know. He's coming off a rough loss. His jaw's broken. I mean, Whittaker's definitely going to have to take some time, but when he comes back, who does he fight? Vettori? But Vettori should be fighting this year. And who should Marvin Vettori fight? Probably Brendan Allen or maybe Jared Cannonier. Jared Cannonier. I wonder when he's going to retire. Yeah. Jack Della. I just want to see Jack Della fight for that belt. I really hope he takes some time off. But I have a feeling that Jack Della is going to fight. Oh, wait, no. Jack Della has a fight with Leon Edwards. I totally forgot. Jack Della Maddalena has a fight with Leon Edwards. That is going to be an epic fight. I totally forgot about that. It's in March. I totally forgot about that fight, bro. Jack Della Maddalena has a fight with Leon Edwards, bro. Leon Rocky Edwards. Don't let him bully your son. Don't let him bully your son. Oh, man. Who does Kamaru Usman fight, though? Shavkat? Nah. No way. Shavkat is getting the title for sure. He just beat Ian Gary. So who does Kamaru Usman fight? Sean Brady? Sean Brady would be an absolute layup for Kamaru Usman, I think. That would be an absolute layup. Buckley's been calling out Kamaru Usman. That'd be a good fight. I don't know if Buckley could handle all the wrestling Kamaru would throw at him, but Buckley's very strong, man. And Buckley got that fight-ending power. He messed up. He messed up Colby, dude. Buckley messed up Colby bad. I'm trying to think, too. There was another fight. Roman Kopylov, I would love to see fight soon. I'm just not really sure. I mean, maybe Michel Pereira. Two phenomenal strikers. Michel Pereira and Roman Kopylov. My only concern is Michel Pereira is a very good grappler, so if he can just take that to the ground, he probably demolishes Roman Kopylov, but who knows, man? I mean, Roman Kopilov's got fight-ending power, and he's been training. I mean, he's been practicing his wrestling. He's been training it. Not necessarily, over in Dagestan, but or maybe I think I read something about him and he did go over to Dagestan. Maybe I'm just remembering because I'm thinking about Dagestan right now. Maybe I'm just remembering differently, but yeah, Marcus McGee, I need to see him fight. Probably against like Kyler Phillips. I don't see Marcus McGee jumping up too high. His last fight was kind of close. And a few people were upset with his performance. I don't know. I mean, I thought he did pretty good, but MMA fans, one day they love you, and then you have a close fight, and then they're just like, yeah, nope, he's not good anymore. He is not good anymore. And to be fair, I do remember that fight now. It was against Jonathan Martinez. And it blew my mind because Jonathan Martinez was winning that fight with the leg kicks. And then the dude just abandoned the leg kicks completely. That was insane. Kai Asakata is ranked number 14. I totally forgot about that guy. Kai versus Joshua Van. Kai Asakata versus Joshua Van. How epic would that fight be? Kai Asakura versus Joshua Van would be an absolute banger too. Two flyweight sluggers, two phenomenal strikers. I mean, this would be a fight definitely ending in a knockout. Kai Asakura and Joshua Van. That's crazy though. He was just fighting for the belt and now he's ranked number 14. But it makes sense. I mean, he's coming in from a different organization, so it makes sense. Charles Johnson, I'm hyped to see him fight because he's got a fight coming up here, I think in March. Cejudo, I don't even know why he's still in there. Is Cejudo even fighting anymore? Is Cejudo even fighting anymore, bro? I don't even think he is. Marlon Vera, whatever happened to him? Man, I'm hyped for Song Yadong, like I said. I wonder what will happen with Calvin Kattar. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm looking at Calvin Kattar's name. It's weird because he lost to Aljo. Pretty boring loss, but he did lose to Aljo. Wonder what happens with that next. Anthony Smith versus Bogdan Guskov. Book it. I've seen enough. Book it. The two twins. And when's the last time Nikita fought? When is the last time Nikita fought? Was it recently? 2023, yeah. Yeah, Nikita should retire probably. Oh wait, no, I read that wrong. I thought this dude was like 39. He's only 32. Never mind. He just had a fat amount of fights. Bro, he's been fighting in the UFC since 12 years ago. That's insane. Some of these guys got some mileage, bro. Some mileage. It's a blasphemous way to say it. Gilbert Burns. I wonder who Gilbert Burns fights. Maybe give Gilbert Burns an easy fight and just give him Colby Covington. Nice little bounce back for Burns, and then, Burns is still motivated to make a shot at that title, bro, to make a title run. So I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't make the title run, but he gets a few good wins. Colby being one of the first ones. Nice little way to start that win streak. Yeah, bro, Michael Morales and Carlos Prates I need to see, but the UFC probably won't match those two up. It's too risky because if one of them loses, then it's like, oh, we just lost out on some pretty good talent. Like, let's match these guys up later on when they actually crack into the top 5, maybe top 10 rankings. But yeah, man, we got some absolute banger matchups. The UFC just keeps getting better and better every year. And I hope some of these come to fruition, man. I really hope that some of these matchups, especially the ones that I kind of labeled in my presentation in the beginning of the live stream. Oh my God. John Jones, Tom Aspinall. I am really hoping that the news that John Jones drops on us tonight or tomorrow morning is going to be, yo, I'm fighting Tom Aspinall for the UFC Heavyweight Championship. And then the co-main event is going to be, I don't even know who would be co-main event. Maybe like an epic. I don't know, maybe like Bilal Muhammad versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. No, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that on the same fight card. But Hamzat Chimaev, Dricus Dupl. I mean, there's so many matchups for the UFC to make. There is so much good MMA that is going to happen in 2025. I just know it. Every year, the UFC just gets progressively better and better. And I hope, like I said, all I keep hoping is that the UFC, at least not anytime soon, doesn't plateau. I just hope that there's slight improvement each year, which so far there has been. I mean, it's been significant improvement, but man, all I got to say is I'm hyped for 2025. I mean, we've got some fire matchups. Yeah, we got a kind of a dookie card, happening this month. But why do I feel like this dookie card is going to lead to some absolute fire cards leading up to like International Fight Week, bro? Like, we're going to get some phenomenal pay-per-view cards within the next few months. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the live stream. If you did, make sure to drop a like down there. Subscribe, man. I'm going to be live every single day for the most part. Sundays, I occasionally might not be able to, but every other day, I'm going to be live. I'm going to be dropping videos as well. I'm going to be live for UFC 312, the entire fight card. I'm going to be doing a fight companion while watching the fights. So if you got nothing to do, if you want to chill, chat it up with your boy, come on by. Pop in, say what's up, even if it's for a second. I would love to see it. And aside from all that, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night.